guys, what's up? Unrested here, and recently my most asked question has been about gyms in Japan, gyms and working out in Japan. And I've actually kind of already talked about this. It was in another JFAQ a long time ago, and one of the subjects was, it just said gym. But it was one of 3 topics, so I really didn't elaborate very much. So I think today I'll just make the whole JFAQ about people who want to come here and work out. As you know, I myself am kind of a big nut when it comes to working out. I'm sure, as you've probably watched through some of my videos, I seem to gain weight and lose weight pretty quickly. That's actually because I do what's called bulking and cutting. Unless you really are into bodybuilding, you probably don't know what that is. That's okay. I don't expect everybody to be into bodybuilding. Obviously, I'm not a very huge guy. I'm an ectomorphic body build, so for me to actually gain weight and lose weight is losing very easy process, gaining not so easy. But actually, when you do see me gain weight through some of the videos, I'm not actually pigging out and stuff like that. I'm bulking up on protein and things like that. But anyway, let's move on to actually talking about working out in Japan. Okay, so working out in Japan. Well, there is many different ways to work out, as we all know. This doesn't really concern where you live, but what you like to do. As far as gyms in Japan, as I said before in my old JFAQ, they are expensive comparatively to the States. You're probably going to pay about almost double. When I belonged to a gym in America, I believe I paid about 50 bucks, which is the equivalent to about 5,000 yen now. But here in Japan, you're on average going to pay about ichiman, which is the equivalent to about $100 a month, that is monthly. I have yet to find a gym that costs less than ichiman a month, and I've gone to, gosh, 4 different gyms in the almost 5 years that I've lived here. So, you know, perhaps in other prefectures where the cost of living is lower, such as Okinawa, gym prices might be a bit less. So don't quote me on that. I'm speaking for Osaka. In Osaka, you're probably not going to find a gym below ichiman. Now, there are communal gyms for a ward or district area, and those are actually quite cheap. I've heard people pay as low as only like 200 yen a month or something, which is like $2. But the facilities, not exactly always the best. Number one, you're never going to have anything like a bench press. The free weights are going to be extremely limited, and probably, if you're any sort of bodybuilding buff, it's going to be way below what you can lift. I mean, I'm not a super strong guy. I'm actually pretty weak when it comes to the amount I can lift. I'm more about my form and structure of lifting rather than the weight. And even for me, I've maxed out on communal weights quite quickly, so I personally find them useless. If you're just going for a low impact, like a very easy workout, you're more focused on cardio, you're looking for only a machine-driven workout, which, although it can be bad for your joints, will still be good for some of those who don't really have a high-intensity workout. Probably communal gym is for you. If you're just looking to stay like real thin, real fit, and you know, even just a little cut, probably you're okay with the communal gym. If you're looking to build some actual muscle mass, communal gym's not going to work out. Number one tip that I can give anybody who's going to join a gym in Japan: ask for a tour of the gym before you join. It's totally okay to do. You can ask for a tour of it. I made the mistake of the first gym I joined, not asking to see. I just assumed you would go in there, there'd be loads of free weights, there'd be, of course, the machines, there'd be the treadmills, there'd be the bike machines, the stationary bikes. I got in there, and yeah, there was free weights, but once again, they were very limited. There was no bench press, no preacher curls. Even the machines themselves, they weren't based on actual weights attached to the machines. They were hydraulic. And how do I explain that? Like, it was like air pressure that I was lifting against. I had never seen that before I came to Japan. Maybe that does exist in America. I shouldn't say that that's a Japanese thing. I mean, I'm sure maybe there's the air compression machines, but you're like actually fighting the compression of air. I don't know how to explain that. And it sucked. Pretty much I maxed out all their machines and all their free weights within the first month, and I'd already paid for like a monthly sign up, like they just keep taking it out of your bank. So I kind of just had to like cut the whole thing off, and they weren't really too happy about that because it's I guess a bit taboo in Japan to just suddenly stop and join at a gym. So, okay, gaijin mistake. One gym that I'd say is probably the worst. This is my own personal opinion. I did a sample workout. You can actually buy a sample workout at any gym you go to. There's sometimes ticket machines, just like where you get like the ramen, or you know, like a place like Yoshinoya. You buy the ticket and you go get some food. You can actually do the same thing at the gym here. And some of them just say 1 day pass, which means you can come in and have a trial. Konami, yes, the game maker, Konami, has their own set of gyms, and they suck. They absolutely suck. Everything is machines. The free weights are so pathetic, it's ridiculous. Everybody comes there like dressed like a movie star to work at. I don't know. They look like all dressed like Paris Hilton to work out there. It's more about people like showing themselves off at a Konami gym rather than actually working out. So, I mean, if you're serious like I am when it comes to working out, I don't suggest Konami. If you want to dress up like Paris Hilton and show yourself off, then yes, please join Konami. There actually are, if you're hardcore into the bodybuilding, there are bodybuilding gyms. Gold's Gym exists out here as well. Tattoos. As you know, tattoos are taboo some places in Japan, onsen, which is a hot spring. And surprisingly, gyms. Yes, in gyms, you're not really supposed to go around showing your tattoos. If a gym is privately owned, and I have joined 2 privately owned gyms since I've lived here, if you talk to the owner, show them what you have, and ask if it's okay, don't just suddenly do it, a lot of times I've found that they are totally okay with it. That was hardcore bodybuilding gyms that I went to, and those guys were just really hardcore into their bodybuilding, and they knew that I was just there to work out, like I wasn't there to cause trouble. And as soon as they know that, as soon as they know that you are seriously there to be, you know, all about the weight and throwing around the metal, then they're not going to bother you about it. Obviously, it's far more comfortable to not have to wear full sweats when you do a workout. One gym I joined, it's a chain of gyms here in Osaka. Maybe they have them in Tokyo too. They're called Oasis. And there I was not allowed to have tattoos. And also Konami Gym, you're not allowed to have tattoos. I mean, absolutely none. Not even like a tiny quarter-sized tattoo. You can't have any. There, I just had to cover it up. I couldn't even tell them that I had tattoos. Because if you even tell them that you have it, they won't even let you fill out the paperwork to join, I promise you. And even if you have tiny, tiny tattoos, don't reveal them in the locker room. I've had quite a few friends who thought, okay, you know, the staff doesn't see it, that's cool. Get back to the locker room, take off my shirt. One guy had one tiny little quarter-size, maybe half-dollar-sized tattoo right here. Another gym member saw it, told the staff. He was kicked out after he had already paid Niman for that month. Niman is about $200. And he just lost that money because they just kicked him out. He was, yeah, more or less furious for obvious reasons. Running. I love running. I myself have only done 5Ks. I don't really race beyond 5K. I've got a cross-country track and field background. I really don't have extreme long-distance background. No ultra-marathons here, sorry. Running in Japan is a bit uncomfortable. I have to say, I feel uncomfortable a bit when I run because I get stared at so much. Number one, running hasn't really taken off in Japan. I won't say it's like a really popular sport here, and running to do cardio workout isn't really that popular either. So number one, you're stared at for that, and number two, you're stared at because you're the giant white guy running down the street. Also, when people go out running, I don't know why, exactly why they do this in Japan, but they usually wear full sweats. I guess it's because they're big into losing water weight here, which personally I think is a bit dangerous and not so hot for your kidneys. So if you go out wearing, like, I have the short shorts, like, you know, the runner shorts. If you go out wearing those here and like your tank top, you're gonna get stared at for that too. My personal philosophy, F it, just do it. You gotta deal with it. You're gonna be stared at. Other
kind of complications that you're going to run into is overcrowding. And by that I just mean everywhere. Like running down the sidewalk, running down the street. Japan is a crowded place. A lot of times I like to wait till nighttime, just because there's some places I just can't even run. Like, I mean, next to my house, I just can't even run. The street is so crowded. Like, unless I want to knock into people and, you know, accidentally butt down old ladies, I just can't run. It's just way too crowded. And it's not like there is, you know, a giant park anywhere close to me or any bit of nature. I mean, everything is cemented, okay? Everything is concrete. Concrete jungle doesn't begin to explain this part of urban Osaka. Maybe if you live out in like more of a country area like Okinawa, as I've said before, is very countryside, there's probably a lot more open space to run. I've only visited a couple places like that in, on vacation, holiday, but I've never actually taken the time to run in these places. You know, if you live in a place like Shinsaibashi, Dotonbori, Namba, you're gonna have some trouble running unless it's like nighttime. Other than that, working out in Japan as far as buying your own equipment, at this point, I do not have the time to go to a gym. So over the years, I have slowly purchased pretty much my own personal gym. This includes a bench press, a sit-up bench, a barbell for the bench press, obviously lots of free weights, dumbbells. You can get these at places that are very accessible, such as Don Quixote. It's kind of like a Walmart in Japan. That place has a good starter set that you could get. There's a place here in Osaka called Spotaka if you're looking for heavier weights, but their prices are really expensive, so I don't know if I really would recommend them. Conan Sports is probably your #1 place to go. Conan Sports is kind of like Sports Authority for Japan. It's a big store. The prices are very reasonable. So my suggestion to you is if you are going to build your own home gym, make it a free weight gym. Don't really rely on machines, buying any machines here. If you are, I mean, you can get the stationary cardio machines such as a treadmill or a stationary bicycle. Other than that, I wouldn't really suggest buying any machines. I would stick to the free weights. That should about cover it for working out in Japan. I guess one last thing I want to add is just supplements. As far as supplements are concerned, Weeder products are one of the most popular ones here. And Japan has its own brands too, such as Savas, there's one more brand, I can't remember it offhand. My personal opinion, I have tried all of these brands. Weeder products are probably the best. Savas has the absolute worst tasting products on earth if you're into, you know, your protein powder, creatine, glutamine, ZMA, BCAAs. They just make utter garbage tasting stuff. There's one other one here, I think it's called like Body Factory, something like that. They make pretty decent stuff, but another thing you can get here is Gold's Gym stuff, official Gold's Gym products. I buy that because personally, I rely more on the products from the States. Japan hasn't been doing bodybuilding or working out stuff like this quite as long. Gyms are still kind of a new thing here. And so even the products themselves tend to be inferior due to the fact that they have added sugars and stuff like that that I just don't want in my system when I'm working out. I try to stick to more of the pure stuff where, you know, it's artificial sugar, the pure stuff with artificial sugar. You know, I try to stick to the stuff that's not going to make me gain a ton of fat while I'm building the muscle. Other than that, yeah, you'll be able to find anything you need. I've been into bodybuilding for about 5 years now. I started out at about 50 kilograms, and I'm about almost up to 90 kilograms at this point. So that's over 5 years, but of course, you know, I lose quite a bit when I cut. If you have any questions other than what I've covered today, you know, as always, feel free to write me. I am Unrested. This is JFAQ.
Why would I take care of you? Everyone around you get drifted away. Why would I take care of you? You got nothing left, and I got nothing to say.